Prime Minister Abiy is seen here together with his delegation arriving in Khartoum this morning for talks with the chief of the Sudanese Transitional Military Council, Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. David Pilling, dreams of freedom are being crushed on the streets of Khartoum. This was the week that Darfur came to Khartoum. For the moment at least, Sudan's dream of a peaceful revolution is over. Khartoum is in lockdown with military trucks on every corner and people terrified to leave their homes. The internet, the digital umbilical cord of the civilian uprising, has been cut. What should people do when confronted by tyranny? In an age when democracy has few champions, can a pacific uprising ever topple a regime with guns, he asks. Only a few weeks ago, the streets of Khartoum felt like a dream conjured up by the poet William Wordsworth, who wrote of the French Revolution. Bliss was it in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven. The people of Khartoum poured out night after night to celebrate the toppling of a dictator and to press for an orderly transition to civilian rule. But though Mr. Bashir has gone, the regime of terror he created has not. The most powerful man in the country is now Lieutenant General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, usually known as Hemeti, the head of the Rapid Support Forces and nominally the number 2 in the Transitional Military Council. Protesters have vowed to continue their struggle. The odds are stacked against them. The youth of Sudan and much of Africa has a faith in liberal democracy and peaceful protest that has all but evaporated in much of the world. This is a bad era in which to be a Democrat without a gun. The US has lost moral authority as a democratic champion. Besides, it has long been a bit player in Sudan. The real power brokers are the UAE, Saudi Arabia and Egypt, regimes that have snuffed out democratic movements in their own countries and with no appetite to see them flourish in neighboring states. A UN resolution to condemn Sudan's military violence was blocked by China and Russia. 30 years after Chinese troops killed hundreds of students in Tiananmen Square and 6 years after Egyptian troops shot 600 in Tahrir Square, Sudanese soldiers have done the same in their own square in their own capital. The military is already denying that anything of the sort took place. The war for amnesia has already begun. It is ultimately about who controls the street, and that's what Hemeti has done. He's cleared it, because he knew that the revolutionary contingent attains its ideal form not in the place of production, but in the street, where for a moment it stops being a cog in the technical machine and itself becomes a motor, machine of attack, in other words, a producer of speed.